Have you seen Star Wars?
EA mode of Star Wars Squadrons has been out for 3 weeks now, and I've tried to play it every day, if not every other day, in order to give it the proper playtime for a review. And after playing the campaign and a large part of the multiplayer, I'm finally ready to give it my official and honest review. Star Wars Squadrons is a space combat game that is set after the fall of the Empire and Return of the Jedi, and deals with the New Republic taking on the weakened Empire. So let's start out with the campaign first. The story is around 7 to 8 hours long, and it is a very quick playthrough, though I will admit that the first 2 to 3 hours felt very long and dragged on. You play the part of the Titan Squadron on the Imperial side and the Vanguard Squadron for the New Republic. You can create your own character, give them their own names. The only downside is that you continue to be called the same name by both squadrons from the Republic and the Empire. Whatever your call sign is for your squadron is what you will be called for the rest of the game, which diminishes the uniqueness of your character, but that's expected in this kind of game. As many others have noticed since the game's release, the campaign is a glorified tutorial for the multiplayer, which is fine if you enjoy the game, but if you view it as a tutorial, 8 hours is a little long. There are some truly interesting and fun story moments in the game, but they are largely forgettable as most of the campaign is, and that's disappointing considering the graphics that they put into this game and the color scheme really complement a well-told story. There are also a lot of character cameos for fans of the Star Wars universe that would be more interesting if we actually developed a good story for the players to enjoy. What I learned from the campaign is that the game mechanics for Star Wars Squadrons is really fun and can keep you hooked. After playing for about an hour one night, I found myself wanting to play just a little bit more the very next day. The way your X-Wing or TIE Fighter moves in the heat of battle is really satisfying, and I cannot stress enough how much you really feel immersed in the Star Wars universe. The settings of each map and planet are perfect. The ship designs and controls are great. This could truly be a memorable game for years to come if done right and with the right support structure. With that said though, I don't see this game being very relevant for years to come. The best part of the game is multiplayer, and while I do enjoy fleet battles the most, there are a lot of basic things that frustrate me about this game that I cannot overlook. First thing is ranked matchmaking. Whenever I play fleet battles, which is likely the most popular multiplayer mode, I've noticed that something happens almost every game, if not every other game. If you're a beginner, you're almost always outmatched. You can have a team ranging from levels of 5 to 20 against another team who's ranked from levels 30 to 60. I recall one match where the highest level on our team was a level 23, and the other team had a level 67 player, who racked up 27 kills over the course of the game, and we lost the match mostly due to him. He had 12 total kills before his teammates could get in a single kill themselves. Now I understand that I'm probably just an average Joe of this kind of game. I'm not awful, but I'm definitely not what you would consider good either. But EA has to understand that it's hard for newer players to want to come back to play the game if they're always going to go up against a 15-year-old kid who plays this probably 5 hours a day of the week and crushes your entire squad. It loses the fun of the game for people like me who are just casual players. The last competitive multiplayer game I played was Overwatch, and I played it daily for 2 years, and I got to the Masters ranking for PS4 close to the end of my time playing it. And in Overwatch, whenever you played a ranked game, you only played with people who were in your rank, and I think Squadrons should follow that same route. A level 15 player should not go against a level 50 player, because it's clear that that level 50 player is going to fly circles around the level 15 squad, and I just think it sets up a bad precedent and a bad feeling for the entire game. Now maybe this is just me being a noob and me being bad at the game, and I will openly admit that, but I cannot help but notice this being a common trend for every match that I'm in. With that aside, the game is still very fun with the right people. The mechanics are not easy to learn unless you invest some solid time into them, but I cannot help but think that this game is meant to be played in VR. It's hard to check on who's to the left or who's to the right or even behind you in the middle of combat with just a console controller, but if you have a VR set, then you can easily look around and be truly immersed in the game, which I think is great. I love that VR is growing, and knowing that Star Wars is lending itself towards that market, I think that's really going to boost the VR market, and I think if you're into VR, this is the perfect game for you. But maybe EA can do a little bit more to help out players without a VR headset do a little bit better at the game as opposed to the ones with a VR headset. I've heard countless times from player with a VR headset that they can double and triple their kills in a game when they put on their VR headset as opposed to the times they just don't use it. I can't say this game has a lack of content as a problem because this is what we knew about the game going in. It was a solid $40 game meant to be played in multiplayer only, and I really enjoy that about this game. I don't feel like I've wasted my money at all. Nothing is more satisfying than going head to head with another pilot and destroying their ship as you fly through the debris. It's even better playing with a team and strategizing the attack and defense of each ship or point in the match. I can easily say that I truly enjoy playing Star Wars Squadrons. However, the game is not for everyone. It's a flight mechanical game, and if that's not your genre of interest, this game is not for you. One thing I think that Battlefront games under EA did very well was the easy ability to pick up and play. You didn't have to be an expert on the game to have fun. Any noob could pick up a blaster, run around, and get a few kills. There wasn't a lot to it. Sadly, the same cannot be said for Squadrons. There is a huge learning curve to this game, and like I said earlier, it's even harder to get when you're ranked against people who are higher ranked than you and are more dedicated to this game. Star Wars Squadrons is by no means, though, a bad game. It's a really fun game with the feeling of a true Star Wars experience. There's just simple fixes to the matchmaking I hope they work out for the newcomers, but I'm also nervous for the future of this game. Where does it go from here? There will be no post-launch content for the game, which makes sense because it was only $40, but it also seems like this won't draw in any new players, leading me to believe this is probably going to be the height of popularity unless the sales for the game see a huge spike in November and December for the holidays. This may be the peak of Star Wars Squadrons as we know it, which is a shame because it's really fun. And now I have to give you my honest score for Star Wars Squadrons, and I have to give it a 7 out of 10. It's a fun game with a lot of replayability, and with the price point of $40, and considering that the price tag will probably drop in the near future, I think anyone who calls himself a Star Wars fan will enjoy playing this with a group of friends who want to squad up from time to time. So if this game even remotely interests you, then buy it. Don't skip this game because I think you're going to have a really good time, and I think it can last for the next year or so if EA shows a little bit of dedication to this game for the next year at least. You don't have to add any new content, but maybe just add some fixes and tweaks, small updates to the game that help new players and even old players enjoy it a little bit more. Add some new skins, add some more customization, maybe add a few more ships. I'm not asking for new maps, I'm not asking for a new era and a new timeline to explore. I'm just asking for a little bit of commitment from EA on this game. And like I said, if you're interested in this game, you should buy it. But tell me your thoughts below. What do you guys think about EA Star Wars Squadrons, and how have you enjoyed the game so far? And what are your scores out of 10 for the latest Star Wars game, and where do you see it going in the future? Like I said, I recommend buying it if you're even remotely interested in this game. $40 is not a bad price point. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment below, or subscribe because it does help out the channel. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.